City 1051 FM.
Okay, so the guys are back here. Yeah, when I say the guy, the Sport City crew of Damiloju Saliu, Onome Appeal, and myself, Wilfred Mong, D Silent J. But of course, Lutana Oruche, who is by far, should I say, an ex-official member of the crew, but he's ever present. I was part of the hangout that we had about 2 weeks ago. So I'm familiar with the other guys. I mean, they're around me every day, So let me just ask Lutana how he's doing because he's far away, Turkey. How are you, Lutana?
I'm good, but you sound like you're tired of Damiloju and Onome.
Not really, but Damiloju has been really troublesome. Yeah, Onome is just there. He's a cool guy. So hey, but Dami is troublesome. Yeah, but I'm not tired of them. I just have to cope and try and adjust. So we'll be fine eventually. But anyway, let's just get straight into it. Of course, this is Sport City Hangout. We've done a few editions already, and this time we want to look at something that will be very interesting in the next coming weeks. Yeah, I'm talking about the La Liga. The guys, after so much rest, are back on the pitch, and some seem like they've not gotten over the rest. But the focus would be on the top two, because 2 points separating the top two with just about 9 games to the end of the season, right? Is it 9?
Yeah,
9 games. Yeah, so it's obviously going to be a very, very dicey running for those two teams, speaking of Barcelona and Real Madrid at the top of the table. So we just want to go through this and see who we favor or think will emerge tops at the end of the running. So I think we should just get straight into it and just dig deep into this. Let me just pick your brains, Lutana. Looking at what's happening in La Liga, 2 games already played, by the way, after the restart. Who do you think will claim the season?
Barcelona, because they always do. I don't know why we have some feeling that the La Liga is competitive. It's very similar to the League on this area. If you are going purely by facts, seriously, Barcelona always win the La Liga. Seriously, Real Madrid are still likely to drop more points than Barcelona. Even we know this, we know Real Madrid are naturally more inconsistent than Barcelona, and I expect them to drop more points than Barcelona because that's what they do. Not because that's what they're supposed to do, but that's just the disappointment with Real Madrid in the league most of the time. So I think Barcelona will win it.
Okay, Onome?
Yeah, I think I really can't say which way is going to go. There are a lot of things to consider. Obviously, the opponents who both teams face between now and the end of the season. I think both sides have 9 left. Barca gets to play their next fixture against Sevilla, which is going to be quite
tonight.
tough. Exactly, because Sevilla themselves know they need to get all points if they decide to stay in that contention for the Champions League spot, because Atletico Madrid are really, really on their heels at the moment and also wanting to wrestle that position away from them. And I think that was one thing to consider, the fixtures and also how both teams stay in shape before the end of the season. They're playing at least 2 games every week. That is what all teams are playing in La Liga. The calendar is quite choked. So which squad can be able to last, the length of that one? Would it be Barca squad? Would it be Madrid squad? So at this point in time, I really can't say who is going to win the league because there are lots of factors that will determine that one. I think let's just wait a little while. Personally, for me, for now, I wouldn't want to say something. I've considered all factors.
Okay, so Dami, Lutana has taken a stance, giving it to Barcelona, and for Onome, he's not sure. He's sitting on a fence that doesn't exist. What about you? Are you scaling the fence?
So, yes, I'm going to pitch my tent with Barcelona. It's a very, very tough. It's a very, very close race. It's just 2 points between Barcelona and Real Madrid. And I understand Onome's concerns. Onome actually wants to go on and observe what happens so that it's not a situation of him saying Dortmund is going to win the league and that doesn't end up happening.
Wow, shots fired. Well done.
It's not a good league, though. Dortmund will win the league.
I mean, but I really feel it will be an interesting running. Like you already said, 9 matches to go. Why I feel it's going to be so difficult, but I will still go with Barcelona is Barcelona have been in this position time and time again. even when they have so many issues within the squad, we know the situation that they're in right now. There seems to be a lot of issues with that side right now, some problems. And then they still have to play Sevilla and Atletico Madrid in their 9 matches that will end the La Liga season. But I just feel, especially with talisman Lionel Messi, who has been able to get 2 goals and 2 assists since they got back from the whole coronavirus pandemic, post-coronavirus, I just think Barcelona might have enough to get over the line. Like Sultana said, Real Madrid look like a team that could still struggle and eventually drop points.
Okay, you guys have made reference to the 2 match days we've already seen since the La Liga returned. Barca have played 2, of course. Real Madrid played their second one yesterday against Valencia. And Barca, they've scored 6, not conceding any. You could say the quality of opposition was poor. First one away at Mallorca, 4-0, they won that one. And disappointedly, 2-0 against Leganes at the Nou Camp, even though it doesn't matter where you play again, because, I mean, there are no fans in the stadium. But Real Madrid seem to have had it tougher. Against Eibar, well, everyone expected them to win, but against Valencia, 3-0 winners, even though the scoreline doesn't really reflect the entire 90 minutes of that game, if you ask me, and Valencia had a goal ruled out. So this means that these 2 teams still have the 2 points gap in between them, the same way they came into the running. But going further, it's 9 more match days, a lot could still change. Yeah, we could see you guys are tilting towards Barcelona. But when you look at the fixtures of this guy, okay, but before we go into the fixtures, your thoughts generally, let me start with Lutana concerning the 2 match days that we've seen already in the league.
Okay, I must say, like, Karim Benzema for Real Madrid, he looks as sharp as ever. Of course, he didn't score in the first match against Eibar, but of course, you saw the usual Benzema, his link-up play, everything. He looks really up for it, and I'm really impressed with the midfield, actually, of Real Madrid. Casemiro played very well, in particular, these 2 games, Toni Kroos as well. So, like, I think the key players look good and okay. For Barcelona, really, Messi he looks like Messi, no problems. And there are a few other players here and there. So, like, I think there hasn't been a massive drop-off, actually, if you ask me, like these players have actually been, in my opinion, they kept shape and they look good, to be honest. They look good. And I think the matches have been like normal, almost.
Okay, Namedami, do you want to add to that?
I think, it pretty much covers it. I think everyone came into the resumption of the season knowing what they had to do. And so far, both sides have done so well, winning those 2 games. And I think the squad, like Luciana said, they've looked so good. It's not a case of, okay, this player is dropping in form. Everyone seems to be hitting that ceiling at the start. It's a question of if they can maintain that momentum going forward.
Dami, quickly.
I think basically of all the leagues that we've seen so far, actually, the La Liga seems to be the league where the players have had the slimmest drop of form or fitness. That way, it doesn't really seem too much like football was away for a long time. We've seen some players come back, and even though you still get the feeling that they are not 100%, they are closer to 100% than we, for example, saw maybe in the Bundesliga in the first few games, and similar to what we saw in the Premier League.
Okay, so you guys have made reference to the squad. You've done that a few times already in this conversation. So I think we should just look at it. On paper, it seems like, okay, let's look at the guys that are returning for the various teams. Lutana, you already mentioned, someone mentioned Asensio. I don't know if it's Lutana or Dami, but somebody did. And Asensio is one of those players that have returned to their squad. Again, this time Real Madrid. As a matter of fact, he hasn't even played a single game this season until yesterday because he was out for about a year, ACL. And he played well in, I think, 15 minutes, thereabout, even got a good goal. And apart from that, Hazard, who has been off and on this season due to injuries, he's also had 2 assists in 2 games, even though he missed a few big chances yesterday. But I'm just looking at it. When you look at the depth of the squad, don't you think that this will become very crucial as we get into the running? Because Messi cannot continue to play every game, and we know how crucial he is to Barcelona. So don't you think it's an advantage to Real Madrid?
I don't think it's an advantage to Real Madrid because, like, of course, along with Leo Messi's fantastic abilities, one of the reasons why Leo Messi is his fitness. We have to also look at this. He plays like 50 something, 6 something odd games every season. So I think if he has to do it, he will do it. Of course, like Setien will try and manage him. Maybe in some games that he feels Messi is not particularly necessary, but of course Messi is always on the bench, and 45 minutes of Leo Messi is enough time for him to destroy any team. Even if he doesn't have any chance, it may just be a free kick and next thing he has gotten Barcelona the goal. He's that good. So I don't think any team is at a particular advantage in terms of depth. I think both of them have fantastic squads, actually, to be very honest. I think like someone like Gareth Bale on the bench of Real Madrid, Asensio, Rodriguez. So like this is actually fantastic depth. These are quality players.
Lotana seems very convinced, and personally, I don't agree that when you compare the squad depths of Barcelona and Real Madrid, that it's the same. I actually think that Madrid are miles ahead of Barcelona.
I want to agree with you, Wilfred. I'm looking at both sides. I'm looking at how both squads have managed to pull their weight through the season. And if you compare the contribution and work of both squads so far, you could say that Madrid as a whole, they've looked better as a squad as opposed to Barca. Barca struggled when Messi is not hitting top ceiling, and also
like
when
the start of the season.
Exactly, the struggle, and he had to take the few heroics for Fati and Sufati to help pull them through. And at moments where, obviously the young man was quite fatigued, it meant that Barca couldn't win games, and they dragged themselves. We saw also their performances in Champions League group stage where it felt like in some games, especially that game against Sparta Praha, without Messi not being able to string things together, the whole squad looked very, very lethargic. And you could tell that the squad as a whole is not really, really on point, which is why I want to put my foot out for Madrid squad at the moment. Asensio has come back into this team. He hit the ground running yesterday. Goal contribution, I think a goal and an assist. Hazard does look like the money they paid for him is finally going to start repaying it in the long run. Now, let's now go to Barcelona. Which players aside Messi will you put your heart out for and say, okay, these guys have been amazing in the way they've played? It's not really working
Suarez hasn't even played or hasn't started in the last 2 games.
Yes,
Griezmann has continued from where he left off before the pandemic.
You see, Fernand Mendy still putting in things right there for Real Madrid. He plays in left back. He goes to right back, to help fit in for Carvajal. He's still doing very well. So I think
the right back of was bad though. When he played
so the squad as a whole, I'd say Madrid have a squad that is on form at the moment than Barca.
Dami, you always seem to have a different opinion from me. I don't know why. You just hate me, I understand, but maybe you think otherwise now.
No, so funny enough, for the first time in a while, I'm actually going to be on board with you on this one.
Oh, wow.
I think, without a doubt, Barcelona's squad depth is inferior to Real Madrid right now. First of all, Real Madrid have more fit players as it is right now. Barcelona still have 1 or 2 injuries. One of the players that on paper should have been able to come into this Barcelona squad and help them out is Ousmane Dembele, and he's still struggling with injuries. Barcelona still have their issues at centre back and at other places on the field of play. But not just that, not even just the number of players, the quality of players. We already mentioned this. For Real Madrid, you give an example and you feel if you are going to mention a Real Madrid attack that's supposed to start the game, you have the likes of Benzema, Hazard, and maybe you have said Vinicius Jr. based on what we've seen this season. But you can have a bench of Asensio and you still have that mix. So they have a lot of flair, they have a lot of firepower going forward. The same thing in the midfield. If it's not Casemiro, Modric, or Kroos, you have the likes of Valverde, who we saw yesterday, even in an unfamiliar role. At left back, you can easily close your eyes and pick whichever one you want between Ferland Mendy and Marcelo. All over the pitch, it feels like Real Madrid are really well stocked, while Barcelona don't have the numbers, and even the few players that they have on the bench, it also shows that they have a lack of quality. The drop from the first team of Barcelona to the bench of Barcelona is so wide. While for Real Madrid, even though there's a gap, it's not so wide. But the only thing is, Barcelona still have Lionel Messi. But if anything happens to Lionel Messi or suspension, then they will be in real trouble.
There's something we are not looking at as regards Real Madrid.
Okay.
There's something we are not looking at. Okay. Benzema is the top goal scorer with, I think, 16 goals now. And after him is the centre-back, Sergio Ramos. Real Madrid forwards are not scoring. So we're not talking about if Benzema loses form. Remember, after Real Madrid won the El Clasico, okay, after that, they started dropping points. Why? Benzema wasn't scoring. So this is also a massive problem for Real Madrid. We aren't touching. It's not by how good and everything everybody looks and stuff. When Benzema is scoring, then it looks like the team is doing good, okay? It's not like Toni Kroos to stop stringing those passes or Hazard to stop looking excited. But the ball stops going into the net when Benzema is not on form, and then they stop winning games. So
no, but it's a team effort. Whoever scores makes no difference. I remember that some of those goals that Ramos has scored are actually from the sport because he's on penalties for the squad.
That's what makes it shameful. That he's the second highest goal scorer after Benzema. Other attackers in the team. Like all the likes of Rodrigo, Hazard, Vinicius, everyone just has inferior goal numbers. Unlike Barcelona, for example, where Suarez still has goals, Griezmann still has goals, even though there's a quite distance between them and Messi, but at least the other forwards are scoring. Real Madrid, this is not the case. The other forwards are not scoring. Either Benzema or Ramos, who also half of his goals have come from the penalty spot. So this is actually a poor statistic for Real Madrid.
So let's we need to look at the games ahead. And while you're looking at the games ahead, you can also chip in some of those things. I know Onome wants to react to this, but let's quickly look at what Barcelona have ahead of them. Onome, you made mention of Barca playing Sevilla tonight. That game is at 9 p.m. But after that, they play Athletic Bilbao. Let me just run through the other games. After Bilbao, they go away to Celta. They welcome Atletico Madrid. Then they are away to Villarreal. They welcome Espanyol, who, by the way, held Barcelona earlier on this season. Let's not forget that. Then they go away to Rayo Valladolid, play Osasuna, and end the season with Deportivo Alaves away. But I think the next 4 fixtures are actually very crucial for Barca. For tonight's one, I'll dismiss it because, Barca they've always beaten Sevilla. But Bilbao have already done a double against Barca this season, one in the Copa del Rey, I remember, and also in the league when they got that late goal. Yeah, Messi didn't play that one. But more importantly, Messi hasn't scored against Bilbao in like 3 games now, and they've not beaten them in, I think, 4 or thereabouts. So between Bilbao, Atletico Madrid, these are actually games that Barca could drop points and Real Madrid will go level of points and go on to win the leagues by head-to-head.
Yeah, it felt like you were just recording my thoughts exactly. When I looked at the running those fixtures and I said Bilbao would be a problem for them. We know Bilbao, they are very, very stubborn. And if Bilbao have defeated Barca twice this season, you could tell the sort of confidence going around that team when they get to meet Barca for a 3rd time this season. It could still go their way, even if they don't get to lose. It's at the Camp Nou, so it could end in a draw. Look at Atletico Madrid, they're playing quite well. Atletico Madrid knows that they need to start racking up those points close to the end of the season. They're a little bit outside the Champions League spots. They know they have to stay in that place. Last time out against Osasuna, they scored 5 goals. Diego Costa is back, while Felix is fit also. The team looks
scored a brace in that game.
Yeah, Carrasco, who came back to the team from China, is also looking like a renewed addition to them once more. That would be another place where I feel that Barca will drop points. The Catalan derby would also be a slight issue for them too.
Espanyol.
Yes, Espanyol were playing worse, than before the league went on breakdown. They're playing now, and they were still able to get a 2-2 draw against Barca. Right now, I wouldn't say Espanyol look good. I would say they are decent and they're looking resilient. They got a win against Deportivo Alaves. Alaves got a red card, but when they were also a man down away at Getafe, they were able to hold on and get a draw. So you could see resilience for a team who wants to survive. So all of these games could be where Barcelona could drop points in the title run.
Now, let me look at the fixtures for Real Madrid. I actually think that Real Madrid have done half of the job already, which is beat Valencia. Next one for them, Valencia fighting for European place. Same thing for Real Sociedad that they play on Sunday. Now, after Real Sociedad, what Madrid have ahead of them will be Mallorca, Espanyol, Getafe. Okay, Getafe still fighting for Champions League. Then they play Bilbao, Alaves, Granada, Villarreal, and end with Leganes. On paper, it seems like Real Madrid's fixtures are easier. And apart from being easier, they always play after Barca have played, Dami.
Yes, they always seem to play after Barcelona, and I like how you said on paper the Madrid fixtures seem to be easier. But you just read out 9 fixtures that Real Madrid are going to play to the end of the season, and it is so astonishing that they are going to play each of the teams that currently occupy the bottom 3. And if there's anything that we know, they're going to play Leganes, they're going to play Mallorca, they're also going to play Espanyol. If there's
Yep.
anything we know, the worst period, the worst time ever to play a team that is battling for survival is in the final 10 games of the season. So I think for Real Madrid, it is going to be a difficult task. It's going to be much tougher than it appears on paper. Now, will they stumble against these teams? Maybe not. But if you look at Real Madrid's last 6 games, 2 matches that they've lost in that period, they lost 2-1 to Real Betis and they also lost 1-0 to Levante. So we've seen that generally Real Madrid are not losing to the traditional big teams. In fact, those 2 teams are both in the bottom half of the table. When you look at the La Liga right now, they've beaten the likes of Barcelona. It seems like Real Madrid tend to struggle against some of these sides. So I think both sides will drop points, Barcelona and Real Madrid. It now depends on who drops more points. Don't forget that if Madrid and Barcelona end at the same points, Real Madrid are actually going to win.
All right, Tana, remember head-to-head, very crucial. We all remember how this played out when Capello was managing Real Madrid, I think 06-07 seasons. Zidane was there. No, Zidane left after the World Cup. Zidane, that was the season Zidane left. Yeah, so, I mean, Capello was fired, by the way, we must add that. But any opportunity of this happening if Zidane goes on to win the league on head-to-head?
There's a possibility this will happen. As I said before, my prediction lies with Barcelona, but I 100% respect Real Madrid and know that. In fact, if I'm to root for somebody, I'm going to root for Real Madrid, to be honest. I understand that there's a possibility they can win the league. But another thing that we have to notice is Real Madrid, as Dami said, like they've particularly been disappointing in some games you don't expect it at all. So it's not always about this team is stronger on paper. We're talking about a Real Madrid side. And Barcelona, the only real fixture that I think they may drop points is Athletic Bilbao. Barcelona have constantly handled Atletico Madrid like wins in the La Liga. This is not Champions
Simone has never beaten Barcelona in the league. I think in all competition even.
No, in the Champions League, he has beaten Barcelona.
Oh, yeah, in the Champions League alone. But
once it comes to La Liga, really, Atletico Madrid have just always never done it. So I'm not going to look at it differently this time, to be honest. So it's just that Athletic Bilbao picture that I think may be a bit tricky for Barcelona. But either way, as I said, Real Madrid plays after Barcelona, and they always seem to do worse than Barcelona in every title running. If Barcelona drops points, then Real Madrid are going to drop points. So the problem is not with Barcelona dropping points.
All right, we need to round up on this one quickly. Our time spent already. We have 2 minutes to do this. But just to say that at the rate it's going, Barcelona have been dominating La Liga because in 1990, Real Madrid had won, how many? I think 20. Okay, between 1990 and now, they've only won 8 titles, basically. And Barcelona have done it 15 times. Are we having a situation where Barcelona may just become the new bride in Spain because they are just about 7 titles behind Barca, behind Real Madrid?
8 of the last 10. What else do they need? 8 of the last 10. Total domination.
10 of the last 15.
Total domination.
All right, but Real Madrid has dominated when you look at the Champions League. Anyway, quick one. 10 seconds. Final thoughts, Dami.
All right, so my final thoughts is it's going to be one of the most interesting title races. It's going to be decided on the final day, but Barcelona is going to win the league.
Aname?
Yeah, I haven't considered everything. At this point, I'm ready to throw my hat in for who will win that one. And I'm slanting towards Real Madrid to win the La Liga this season.
All right, Lotana, are you sticking with Barca?
Yes, I'm sticking with Barcelona. I feel both teams will drop points, but Real Madrid will drop more points.
All right. Well, for me, it's Real Madrid. I mean, I love the way they are playing, even though certain decisions kind of favor them. That controversial goal that was ruled out yesterday against Barcelona, against Valencia. Those things happen. It's football. So we need to take a break on today's edition, but please never take a break when it comes to doing the right things to stay safe, which is washing your hands with soap and clean running water. When that is not available, use a alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Wear a face mask properly, covering your nose and your mouth. And also, don't go out if you don't have any need to go out. We'll see you some other time on Sports City Hangout. We've been discussing the La Liga. When we come back, we'll have more interesting things to discuss. Make sure you listen to Sports City at 7:45 every weekday, Monday through Friday, and on Saturday at 2 p.m. all the way to 6 p.m. Lutana, thank you so much. He had to hook up with us all the way from Turkey. Of course, Damilo Jusalio, Name Apil, and myself, I am Wilfred Mung the Silent. Enjoy the rest of the football season.
City 1051 FM.